Hi guys, I'm Shmi. Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome today to an absolute monster. This is the brand new Rezvani Vengeance based on the Cadillac Escalade. Now, I previously took a look at the Rezvani Tank out here in California. We're in Orange County, but this is a monster unlike no other. The amount of features of this, and I'm not talking things like your safety systems and that stuff, because it's an Escalade, it's got all of them. I'm talking all of the security stuff. We're gonna have a run through of the top 20 security features of this machine. We're talking bulletproof body armor and glass. We're talking steel rams, winches, tows, military tires. But not just that, we've got pepper spray from the mirrors. We've got gas masks, we've got bulletproof body armor, we've got a smoke screen at the back, we've got electromagnetic pulse protection, EMP protection, we've got thermal imaging cameras. The list goes on and on. So join me today for a first full look at this new thing, the Rezvani Vengeance, and we're going to run through the top 20 security features. This is about to be an extensive and impressive list. We're talking strobe lights, sirens, an intercom, and even, get this, electrified door handles. Yes, you have heard that correctly. But let's start with a quick 1-minute walk around to explain the background of what exactly we are looking at today, the Rezvani Vengeance. Now, like I said, it's based on the latest generation Cadillac Escalade. That means it's equipped with all of the technology, creature comfort, safety systems, luxuries, everything that you would come to expect. But of course, with a bit of a difference. This is the ultimate in personal military vehicle. In fact, it is a beast. And talking beast, that takes us back in Rezvani's history. 8 or 9 years ago, their first model was the Beast, a 2-seat sports car that was followed up by the Tank that I drove previously, based on the Jeep Wrangler. They've now made around 100 or so of those, plus also the Hercules, the 6x6. But this is all new. This is the Vengeance. This is something that will terrorize people on the street. Even just the appearance of the thing. It's 10 inches wider than the regular Escalade. It features all of these rugged looks and appearances, and of course it's all about what's happening underneath as well. The explosive protection, the reinforced suspension, the military tires, and everything else that is going on with it. Let's come and have a quick look inside as well. We're going to go through this in more detail before taking it for a drive as well. But the logo here on the steering wheel features the wings, which represent the company founder Ferris Rezvani's father, who was a warplane pilot, and the steering wheel behind, mixing air and road. But look at this thing. The Vengeance means business, and we need to run through everything that this offers. Let's start with this list then. Number 1, the bodywork. Not only does it look seriously aggressive and much wider, as I said, than standard, but it's also seriously heavy duty stuff as well. Come and have a look in the door shuts, the door frame itself. Look at how much wider this is. Obviously all heavily reinforced, part of the car having also the optional military package. For $125,000 you can have the level 4 ballistic protection on your Rezvani Vengeance. Now, number 2, part of that is that standard level 4 protection, including the bulletproof glass. The windows are seriously strong. You can opt to go even further and have level 6 protection. Level 4 actually adds a total of 800 pounds to the standard 6,200 pound weight of the car. If you go for level 6, it adds a further 1,100, nearly 2,000 pounds heavier than the standard car. But come and have a look at these windows, these heavily reinforced bulletproof glass windows. And in fact, to lower them, you need to have the engine running, which means the V8 starting up. Sounds good. Let me lower this down. Have a look at this window. Look at how seriously chunky that actually is. Now, that's actually been able to be lowered significantly further than on the Tank. This is quite hard to do considering the amount of glass that you're trying to squeeze down into the door frame, but Rezvani have worked on that for this car in particular. Now, number 3, again on the exterior, is the explosive underbody protection. Yes, the underside of this car is protected from bombs or explosions underneath it. We're talking the reinforced front, the engine bay, the suspension, the underside, the underbody of the entire car, all to minimize the risks of who knows what might happen. Now, number 4, I'm going to show you inside quickly here. we have tactical lights. We have a switch just here, which are for your tactical lights that you can come and see on the outside of the car. In fact, both up top, we have the light bar, which is an option over the roof, but also these 4 inserts into the hood, into the bonnet of the car. And if I just switch those on so that you can see them, obviously that gives you some serious visibility. Now I can tell you, even in the bright sunshine of California, it's illuminating signs down the road in front of me. Those are bright, and those aren't even all of the lights that we're going to get to. No, if I switch those off, we actually have a bar of switches up at the top that I'll show you shortly. But one of those are the strobe lights. Have a look at the front. Let me flick that switch. And we've got the strobe lights installed inside the grille, one on either side, blinking away, bright even in the daylight here. At night, absolutely blinding as well. Just switch those off again for the moment. Number 6 then, let's come back around towards the front. The reinforced steel ram bumpers that we have front and rear, not only are these heavy duty, but we also have the winch system mounted here. Plus, as well as the winch, we even have the D-rings here, magnetic in place, with the Rezvani logo down there as well, for any towing / winching requirements you might have. Now the suspension in here, of course, again, reinforced, extra strength, exactly as you would need it. Number 7, we're going to skip straight through to number 8, military grade tyres, and the new wheels that Rezvani have made. These are actually their new exclusive wheel design that they have created for this car, armed, of course, on these 22-inch wheels with some serious rubber, military grade, run flat tyres. Now I want to come back to the doors. These door handles, these can be electrified. You can genuinely have, as number 9 on our list, 110 volts if you want to electrocute somebody who grabs the handle. I believe that's an amount that will just make the person jump off it. You're not going to be able to hold it and open a door handle running 110 volts. Next up, number 10, magnetic deadbolts. Not only are the doors super thick, but you also have the magnetic deadbolts here to completely secure and lock those in place. I think for number 11 though, we're going to be on for probably one of the most interesting things on this list, the pepper spray. Now I should point out at the moment that this is just filled with water, but I can give you a demonstration of how exactly it works. So let's say I'm in the car and somebody comes up to the car who is, you know, an unsavory person. I have a switch up on the roof, check this out. I can literally spray pepper spray out of the mirrors. I don't know who comes up with this stuff, but that's a pretty cool thing on this security list. Inside the Vengeance, we have here the controls for some of the things I have shown you so far. The strobe lights, for example, the magnetic deadbolts. You can hear those doing their thing. You also have the pepper spray up here, which I find absolutely hilarious that you have that control. But number 12 on the list, we also have front and rear blinding lights. Now these are actually disabled on this car because they would be a little bit too bright for use out on the roads. Number 13, however, is the smoke screen. If you were to flick that, you would be billowing out smoke behind you to lose anybody who might be trying to give chase, and it makes a lot of smoke. Number 14, we actually have thermal imaging vision. So you can see that with the Escalade, you have the camera system on here. You can actually see straight out at the front at this lovely view that we have of the scenery around us. But in this, not only do you have night vision as well, but you also have thermal vision. So you can see exactly what is happening all around. For the next item on the list, we have the EMP protection. An electromagnetic pulse is not going to knock this car out. In fact, it has systems to be able to keep the electronics alive if you need to get out of there. If you are somewhere where all hell is breaking loose, it's not going to be knocking the systems sideways in this one. Number 16, in the armrest, we actually have a safe. There is a console safe installed here if you need to lock things away and keep them protected and hidden in there. The next item, number 17, we also have in here an intercom system. Hello. That's quite loud outside. Let's put that away for the moment. You could probably have quite a lot of fun with that one. Number 18, tucked in here, where we have the cup holders, we also have the control for the sirens. There are 6 sirens installed. They probably make everyone jump. I could spend far too long playing with those. Sorry everyone, not trying to disturb the peace. So we're at 18 already. but obviously saving the best to last. Back outside, and remember the Vengeance is about being a vehicle to get you out of any situation, whatever it could be, and sometimes that means you might need some additional equipment, which we have back here. Now the door handles for the rear doors are actually up here, which is kind of fun. Inside though, we have two sets of things. The first to show you is the body armor. Yes, we have a full set of bulletproof vests, helmet, in fact two full sets, included in the military spec of the car. Rezvani Guard Dog body armor, and I can tell you, this is actually all really pretty heavy. So number 19 is your body armor. Number 20, get this, number 20 is that the car comes with gas masks. You never know where you might be. Chemical warfare, something that you need a gas mask for. There are 2 gas masks included in the car, the ultimate in protection. So I think we should probably gear ourselves up to go and experience a drive in this, to head out in the Rezvani Vengeance. Let's do this then. First drive in the new Vengeance. Let's get it started up again, get belted up. Look at this view out in front. Look at how you have that incredibly cool hood setup. I'm not entirely sure how exactly to call what I'm looking at. Then on the screens in front of me here, because we're in the latest Escalade, we've got every single camera position and angle and viewpoint that you could possibly want to see, which is quite frankly amazing. We've got all of the displays, and this is obviously where you'd have your night vision and everything else. Getting myself comfortable. We've got the digital camera rear view. In fact, this is actually Rezvani's first 7 or 8 seater. We've got the 2 captain's chairs and then the bench for the 3rd row in this particular example. But obviously based on the Escalade, it's enormous. It is a gigantic monster of a car, as I have said a few times. Moving my mirrors, the bodywork just looks crazy. Everything I'm looking out at around me. But let's pop this into gear, go for a short little drive and go see if anything crazy happens out on the road. Oh, that's strange with that view up, with the different camera views while you're driving like this. Wow, this is probably one of the biggest or heaviest cars I've ever driven, but it's bulletproof. Nobody's getting in our way. Not that I have any intention to do anything too crazy right now, but off we go. First drive in the Vengeance. So I recently drove an Escalade V. I've got a little bit of a sense of what the new Escalade is about itself and what it offers. But at the moment, this feels actually kind of normal, if I can say, kind of normal, with the difference of what I'm looking at right out on the hood in front of me. Now, there are quite a few celebrity owners of these things. In fact, the likes of Jamie Foxx has one. I think Chris Brown has one. Plenty of people in that world, because it's something different. You're not going to see somebody else driving one of these most places that you're going to go with it. And just look at this around normal traffic. I'm just looking down at everything around us, even looking down at normal big American pickups. And I mean, look right in front of us, for example. An Explorer has never looked quite so small. And everyone around probably looks at this thing like the guy, you didn't see that, but this van that just went past, the guy was like, what is that? What on earth am I looking at? Kind of unsurprisingly, because it's absurd. It's truly absurd. Now, obviously, Escalade, all the technology, all of the lovely climate control settings and switches through the middle here, everything all nicely illuminated. This secondary display that you have, so you've got your curved dashboard display, then the secondary display for all of your infotainment and CarPlay, Android Auto, etc., etc. And then I have a second, or a third, I should say, display on this side, which shows me a little bit more about my trip info and that kind of thing. But what you have to remember also is that this has a list of something like, I think it's around 20 different safety systems, all of your adaptive cruise, blind spot monitoring, automatic braking, lane guidance, lane assist, like everything that you can possibly think about is offered by this. Yeah, passengers just like, what? It's actually really funny how many people look out and are just bemused by what they're seeing on the road. I mean, it is bemusing. It is something completely different. Completely different. Hey, it's got enough poke. It's got plenty of go. Let's follow that G-Wagon. Is that a G-Wagon 4x4? I think that is exactly the kind of person who might be interested in one of these. Makes sense in every way. But I mean, power-wise, got more go than I probably thought. 400 horsepower obviously is a lot, but you've got to remember the weight that you're carrying around in the process. But this is where, if you want the 800 horsepower, the team at Rezvani are going to make it possible for you and give you all of the power that you could possibly dream of having. Obviously here, if somebody was to attack us on the road, or to try and attack us on the road, this is where we have so many different tools and things at our disposal to protect ourselves and to make sure that we manage to escape and leave from whatever that situation might be. And that is what this is about, hoping that you never have to use any of it, but having it in case you should. And obviously the clients and customers of these cars are all over the place, heavily in North America, heavily in the US and Canada, Mexico, etc. But with some in the Middle East and some in other regions, of course, but the cars can technically go anywhere. There are tons of different options that they offer as well for the interior, trims, materials, various different seat configurations and seat options, leathers, styles, finishes, can all be made completely bespoke. You basically get involved with the company and the whole experience through it and create your perfect Vengeance. The name is so perfect, isn't it? Following on from Tank. The Tank was always that kind of dream. Hey, what if I could own a tank? Well, with Rezvani you can. The Vengeance is about that ultimate payback. Not necessarily electrifying somebody who's trying to get in, but about payback, the kind of, look what I've got, look at this thing that I'm driving. I'm not exactly trying to do a hard launch in here, but more just enjoy the drive, enjoy a small feel of driving something like this where you feel almost invincible. You feel like you could go anywhere and do anything, whereas we're cruising around Orange County where hopefully we would be completely safe. But actually that's kind of where parts of the idea for this were originally born, after an unfortunate incident. The idea of having personal protection should the worst ever happen, and having access to such a vehicle actually remains surprisingly flat when you brake quite hard, considering size and weight and all of that. This is a ridiculous thing to be driving. This feels really, really quite fun. And surprisingly normal. When you look at it from the outside, this is as far from normal as you could possibly get. But when you're driving it, to be honest, it feels like you're just cruising along, you know, just out for a drive in a big SUV. And the Escalade is big, don't get me wrong. The standard Escalade is big. This is really, 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 really big. He's looking, everyone's just like, what? He was giving a cheeky mirror check there to see what exactly he's driven past. That's so funny. The guy behind is doing exactly the same. I'm just looking at everybody staring at this thing. Like, what about these guys? Are we going to go past and they're going to be like, what did I just see? Yep. The face of, what? What is that? What have I just watched? I'm not surprised, to be honest. We're about to pull back up. Literally a very quick drive, because of course this is the first car that they've made available to drive. It's a big thanks to Rezvani that I've had the opportunity to take this out for a little run. And this is where, because of the size, I can load up the cameras. Obviously it has all the parking assist and everything like that, and check how far I am from the curb and make sure that I can line it up nice and tidily. All makes it much easier when you have big cars like this. Cars obviously getting bigger and bigger with every successive generation. Into park. There we have it. My first short drive in the Rezvani Vengeance. Let's have a last little look around and then let's head to the Experience Centre, because I want to show you a little bit more over there. This is the Rezvani Experience Centre, where we have the Tank and we also have the original Beast. Plus, over this way, which we're going to explore, is the design studio with some samples, even of the bulletproof glass, different paints and materials, and I always love looking at that stuff. Plus the design center is just behind. But let's check out these two. This is the Jeep Wrangler-based 2020 Tank, the updated version. After having the Beast originally, they made the Tank based on the Wrangler, this SUV segment of the market. Of course, the 5-seat configuration effectively, but similar philosophy and theory to what we've been looking at with the Vengeance, making the ruggedized military style look with the option to make a bulletproof military vehicle version as well. But going from the tank, we head back in time to where Feras Rezvani really started everything with this, the original beast, based effectively on an atom, but creating something totally unique. I've not seen this before, other than plenty of pictures of it, but very exciting because a new beast is very soon to arrive. In fact, only a couple of months away, so stay tuned for that, because I'm really excited to find out more about it and what they're going to be doing with that car. Over this way, you've got the blown up Rezvani graphic over there, and a little welcome as well. Welcome Shmi150, very kind of them to arrange for today. But if we come through over this way, let's come into the design studio to show you a little bit more through the process, because of course this is where we have demonstrations of all of the different parts, components, body armor, whatever it might be that you want to have a look at. This is actually really quite interesting. The solid plate, hopefully, that never needs to be used. But hey, having it gives that extra assurance. Over this way, we've got the glass samples. This is the sample of the level 4 glass, which as you can see is actually quite chunky to begin with. The level 6 is a different league. That is some serious stuff. You can have different coloured materials, whatever it might be. These colours, by the way, are all colours that have actually been painted on the tanks to date, on tanks that have been produced and sold to customers. Those are all actual colours that have been used, and different interiors as well. They can work from bespoke level to whatever it might be that the customer would like to have with the different cars. Same with materials. It's always fun to look at the different leathers, and I mean, imagine what that would be like, a nice purple and, I don't know, some dual tone colour configuration. Even this textured style as well, loads of different options, creativity, imagination, it can all kind of run wild with this stuff to create the different cars, and it's an exciting lineup with Tank, with Vengeance, and with Beast to arrive in future as well. The advantage of Vengeance is that by having additional seating, additional rows, it means that the entourage can travel with. You know, if it's a celebrity buying the car, for example, the bodyguard, security, assistants, whoever can all join in, or it could just be friends, it could be other people, who knows what. But the Vengeance is certainly quite something. Let's head back out. Back over with the Vengeance, and we haven't really yet spoken much about the design, but obviously it's angular, it's edgy. It wouldn't have that same wow or shock factor if it wasn't. This is designed to make you think the apocalypse is coming. Who knows what is going on? And every single element of it is exactly like that, building on the design of the Tank, but in this case, obviously dialing it up a notch, their first vehicle of this magnitude. We haven't really focused all that much on what you have back here, but the design continues towards the rear again. Look at the shapes of this. Look at the way this is all designed and framed. The horizontal lines, the light strip back here. This is your blinding light that you have at the back as well. Then to open the tailgate, there is a button just there. You've got the powerful tailgate. The entire rear frame opens up. Then back here, you've got a bit of storage space behind the seats. You've got the switches and various things to fold them forwards. There we go. All automated to make your life that little bit easier should you want to have the practicality of the back of this thing and have a gigantic, enormous amount of space. You can actually fold them back up again. This is what I mean when I talk about technology and creature comforts of the Escalade itself. Just all of that doing what it does, extra storage everywhere, extra things you can carry around inside there. The Vengeance plates and sill kicks that they fitted all around it as well. A crazy thing in every possible way. A very interesting thing today to have experienced. I mean, look at all of the shapes and design and the way that this is all made. Obviously bulletproof glass throughout, the pepper spray, and so many unbelievable security features. Crazy to think that we have just had a demonstration of the top 20 security features of the Rezvani Vengeance. Not just like 1, 2, 3, maybe 5, perhaps even 10, but 20 different things, from EMP protection to electrified door handles to smoke screens to sirens and intercoms and the whole works. Let me know, what's your favourite thing that this can do? But for today, a big thank you to Rezvani for the opportunity to come and drive this for the first time, get a feel for what it's all about, and be able to share this with you as well. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers!